Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and experts are now starting to wake up and warn people that right now is one of the worst times in history to purchase a home, not just because of interest rates, but also because of overvalued houses. And the reality is even though buyers are getting more negotiating power back right now, not enough time has passed for the housing market to really have properly adjusted. There's still, quite frankly, too much dust that's been kicked up, so we really don't have a good idea of what's going to happen 4 years or 5 years from now. So not only are things overvalued, not only are interest rates higher, but we have no idea what's going to happen in 2024, 2025, 2026. But we kind of know what's going to happen in 2023 because the Federal Reserve has said more pain to come. And what that means to me is that once that pain hits, it's going to be my time to buy, because I sat back and rented for the last, 14 months to prepare for this, right? And it hurt, you guys, because I had to downsize and I moved my family with me, and I'm renting and I'm throwing away my money. I still have a residence I rented out, so I'm receiving money in rent. But nevertheless, I hate this. I don't want to rent right now. I want to buy. So the things that are happening right now are really good, especially if you're on the sidelines like me. But what we're going to do today is we're going to jump into an article by Yahoo Finance titled "Housing Expert: This Might Be the Worst Time You Could Buy." So I will agree with him for the most part. Rates are going up, so is unaffordability. But one thing that we have right now that we did not have at the beginning of 2022, inventory. So I will argue that it was actually even worse to buy in June and May, because now we have more options to find something that we love, and we don't have to settle for something that we don't love. And that's why I would say it was worse, but it's still horrible right now. But remember, you guys, I'm not your financial advisor, even if I want to be, even though my bio is as a realtor, loan officer, and real estate instructor in Texas. But this is my personal YouTube channel. So guys, please, for my efforts, like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, please comment below. Let's get started on this article right now. Buyer beware. You may want to think carefully about the home purchase now, according to one expert. From an affordability perspective, this might be the worst time you could buy because mortgage rates have spiked quite a bit. Mortgage rates have jumped by more than 2% since the start of the year, according to Freddie Mac, and sit at 5.5% as of August 25th. And you guys should know by now, they're actually way higher than that. While lower than the 5.8% registered in June, that's wrong. It's actually now higher than June. That report came out a few days ago. Recent rate volatility has been enough to stifle demand. Rising rates are taking a lot of steam out of the housing market. And you guys, the fact that interest rates were at the 3% and in the 2%, them going to potentially 6%, that's huge for the housing market, right? That is a radical adjustment in our housing market. And one of the reasons we're seeing demand be so impacted and crippled by rising interest rates is because of our strict lending standards. I keep saying that people are, it's not going to crash because we have strict lending standards. Well, that's bittersweet, because as a result of the strict lending standards, any adjustment in interest rate and payments has a drastic effect on DTI, or debt to income ratio, which is a primary qualifying factor when it comes to residential mortgage lending guidelines. So just think about that. Regardless, let's hop back in right now. Buyers are getting jittery with some 63,000 home purchase agreements canceled in July, according to Redfin, equal to 16% of homes that went under contract that month. That's huge, guys. That's the highest rate of canceled contract in more than 2 years, and comes as buyers take advantage of slowed demand to gain back some of their negotiating power. Isn't that beautiful to hear? Home sellers are still hoping to get their home what they would have gotten 3 to 6 months ago. As a buyer, part of the reason you're seeing contracts canceled and homes sitting on the market a lot longer is buyers are looking at these rates and saying, I don't want to pay these prices, or I can't afford to pay these prices. And sellers are still sticking, and that makes it a tough time to be a buyer. Even real estate investors who scooped up nearly 1 in 5 homes sold in the US during the height of the home buying frenzy last year are growing more conservative amid higher borrowing costs. And here's what's crazy. Investors bought 19.4% of homes sold in the second quarter, Redfin reported, down slightly from 20.1% in the first quarter. That's the first decrease in 2 years of consecutive increases. And I'm telling you guys right now, some, not all Not all, but some investors are going to be underwater. We're going to get a lot of inventory from investors. I'm telling you now, their financing is not the same financing as if you're buying a primary residence. A lot of investors' financing is not favorable. Now, if these investors bought these houses and they cannot rent them because rent right now, there's a potential rent crisis happening right now, they're probably going to sell their house, because if they don't sell their house, they're just going to lose money every single month. And if house values go down another 30% in the next 2 years, they're probably going to want to dump that property and rebuy after it goes back down. It is what it is. That's just my opinion. Let's hop back into the article right now. Real estate investors also purchased 87,000 homes in the second quarter, according to a Redfin report, up 11% from the last quarter, but down from a record high of 93,700. Purchased in the third quarter of 2021, when rates for mortgages were well below 3% and the home buying frenzy was at its peak. When crunching the numbers, the typical home investors bought in the second quarter cost a record $474,000, according to Redfin, up from $427,000 a quarter earlier and $423,000 a year ago. Home flippers hoping to make a profit may now feel they've missed out on the hot markets, as many buyers stay on the sidelines. I don't think some of these institutional buyers are going to face challenges in the markets trying to get ahead of them, but I don't think that's going to make it a buyer's market. It's just going to be a tough market for almost anybody who's looking to sell right now, but it's also a tough market for people looking to buy, which is not a great time for housing. But the thing is, guys, I'm going to disagree a little bit with that sense, because it's absolutely a buyer's market when it comes to new homes. New homes right now, we have almost an 11-month supply of new homes. We need over 6 months for it to be considered a buyer's market. So that's why I keep preaching to people, look no further than new home builds, which are still overvalued. I'm not saying they're undervalued. I'm still saying they're overvalued, but it has to start somewhere, and it has already drastically started in the new home build sector. So you guys keep your eyes on new home builds. But other than that, you guys, I hope this article helped a little bit. I hope this video helped a little bit. If you're on the sidelines, stay encouraged, stay hopeful. Things are shifting. Things will be on our side. We're going to be unicorns. Buyers right now in this market, we're going to be heroes. We're going to be champions. So stay patient, understand your value, and pat yourself on the back for sacrificing. Other than that, though, guys, I really hope you got value from today's video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck, and I hope you win.